Coach, what the state of basketball here in the state of Kentucky? You know, a lot of people say that it's up. A lot of people say it's down. And I know that you've been here and you've been a part of it for a while now. What is your assessment of the true state of Kentucky basketball?
Well, when you start talking about the state of Kentucky basketball, there's a couple different layers to the state of Kentucky basketball. One is obviously your traditional high school basketball. I think high school basketball right now in pockets is really good. There's several A's classes that have some really high caliber players. I think the 2018 class is a high level class. I think even when you add Romeo Langford, who might be the top in that class over in Southern Indiana, and then you think about all the kids here in Kentucky, the 2018 class is very competitive. 2019 is competitive. I think as Kentucky moves with the times, as far as where nationally basketball is at, I know right now I'm associated with the Louisville United AAU program and with the GHITP program, and both of those programs are set up to fit the new national scale of basketball, which coincides with high school athletics. There's been this hatred, I guess, between high school coaches and AAU coaches, and that blocks what we need to build of a system for our student athletes. So the state of Kentucky basketball is better. One is because you have more guys like myself that are involved with AAU and in high school coaching, and we work closely with the media. Coach Barnett has worked in Kentucky high school coaching as well as AAU, as well as now in the media. So now we're starting to bridge those gaps and kind of move out of the old times and to get our athletes up to the newer times. So as long as that relationship continues to grow, the state of Kentucky basketball has gotten better. This year has been an exciting year for high school basketball. We've played about 11 contests against high-level teams, and we've sold out the gyms, and it's been good for Kentucky fans.
Carlos, you graduated what,
06.
06, okay. So Los came at 06, man. Well, you still, like I was going to say, 5 years ago. So when you think about when you came out, the level of play, guys playing over the rim, the size of guys, and just what the style of the play was back then, how do you compare the athletes from your era and your time to the players now? Meaning that, do you feel like there were more Division I players, Division II players compared to what you have now?
Well, the style of play back then was similar to now. I think the body types were different. You talk about guys like Mike Bush, Mario Uridia, Rondo. High caliber guys who are six beast guys who could explode over the rim. So that's what me and Coach Schuler is trying to do, get guys to believe that to understand they need to play above the rim. We got to bring that back, and that's what we're trying to do now. D1 players-wise, I think there was a lot of D1 players back then who was D1, how can I say it, D1 physical, but just D1, they wasn't D1 mentally yet.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to get our guys to understand now, to become D1 ready at an early stage. So when they come in, when they leave here and they go to college the previous years, they're ready. They're not just going to college to sit. They're ready to play right away. And that's what we're trying to teach these young men now. And Coach Schuler been doing a great job at that, as well as the staff. The staff been, for every aspect, not just on the court, off the court, life lessons, and we're trying to preach to guys about that stuff. But the style of play, it was some tough guys back then.
Right.
06. You just gotta, and that's what I tell guys. Like you said, the creek's risen. So the creek's risen. Coach Schuler again did a good job. And I remember about 4 years ago, I ran to Coach Schuler up at the KBA, and he was telling me his vision on what he had for this group of guys, these young men. And he's been every day. He's been emphasizing it. And then, like I told him, once he gave me the vision, I told him I was on board. So let's do it. I told him I've been telling him since it's gonna be a roller coaster.
Right.
So that's what it's been for us. It's been a roller coaster, and guys are starting to get it. So
well, I tell you what I noticed. What I noticed as a basketball guy in the Trinity game, I was sitting with some people, and I said, I'm gonna see how much Coach Schuler and his staff has grown. And I'm watching the pace of the game was kind of slow, and Trinity was controlling the pace. And so I said, and I was speaking to a guy, and I was like, man, the Creek, they need to get that tempo going. They need to get in the passing lanes. So coming out after halftime, y'all just smacked them. And it was guys was in the passing lane, guys was flying around, and it just showed me as somebody that's followed you all from the outside looking in, even when you may not have knew I was following you, because obviously everybody wanted to know what you all were going to do with all of this talent. So I watched you. So it was good to watch, you all grow, you all grow as coaches and really go into halftime and then come back out and be able to adjust, because that's coaching, and a lot of people, it's easy to have a floor full of talent, but when things isn't going right, can you go and really coach that talent? And you all did a good job of that. Coach Schuler, so same question I just asked Carlos, like from, when you was playing, you're not too far removed, like what do you think the talent gap is?
Wow, when I came out in 97, obviously body types were a lot bigger.
Right.
There was a lot more size on the floor. The difference is, though, I still play the advantage to today's kid over us. Me coming out of J-Town High School in 1997, I had a guy, my coach, Joe McPherson. I love Coach McPherson like he's my brother, but Coach McPherson didn't do AAU. Coach McPherson didn't know Tim Barnett and KySports, so he couldn't get us out there to talk to people to practice per se. Right. Today's kids with the social media and AAU and scouting services everywhere, these guys get a ton of practice. How much they put into it is a different story. And so I guess what we preach so much to the kids nowadays is how much investment will you put into this to get a reward? Or are you just expecting a reward to come? Now, versus our era, we played to get a reward.
Right.
We might not known how to handle the situation once we got to campus, or what moves we could have made to advance us before we got to campus, but we knew that we had to work with an undesirable passion to get to that level. And some of that is being left out nowadays. But here's the thing. I think both eras are the same. There's one simple thing, and I challenge all the young guys. Our era was tougher.
Right. I agree with that.
Our era was tougher. No blood, no fouls.
I think that mentally it was a different space because the game was played because of the enjoyment of the game. It wasn't really playing for pictures to be put on social media or someone to be filmed or to go on the internet and be able to see it. If you didn't catch a clip on that news at 11:25, that was it. And I think today it's they have access to so much more, so the appreciation isn't as great as it was back then. But something that you said that hit on me that I really liked, and I think I spoke to you about this, was when I watch you all, I really feel like that you're trying to help the kids. I remember seeing a photo on social media, and you were at the game. I think it was Cincinnati versus somebody, and you had 4 or 5 of the guys with you. And so as I'm looking and I'm thinking I'm a parent, that's where I want my high school coach with my kid. Not just when he comes to school, but are you ready to take away from some of your personal time and take my kid down to school? Because ultimately you got more power than I do sometimes over my kid.
Well, I think to add on to that, Coach, and actually we was watching Cincinnati and Butler, watching a kid that you've worked with for many years, Keelan Martin, who's having a great career at Butler. You have to go above and beyond, and we tell these guys every day, you guys love it. This is our lives.
Right.
And when you make a commitment to be a high school coach or to work with the youth within sports or anything, there's a level of commitment that comes with that. So what we try to do is we try to incorporate our family with our basketball. Right. So that it's not really taking away time from family. We just kind of do it all together. But hey, I'll tell you, and Coach mentioned when I asked him to come on staff, we made a pact about this. Our goal is to sign at least a player every single year out of our program. We feel like we failed as coaches, even if it's not a guy who had a lot of interest at the beginning of the year. We'll make you into a guy as long as you have high character, good work ethic, and you'll listen to us. We'll make you a college basketball player. So to go out and take these kids on those trips and do things like that, one, it's a fulfillment that goes tenfold over money or anything. And when you get into coaching, man, I used to be in corporate America. I passed up the $1 million checks for the $1 million memories, and those will stick with you forever. So we'll take kids anywhere. If any college coaches out there watching them, we'll come to your campus. You let us know.